Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the fifth week of the Fourth Quarter Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Edward DeMaria, and joining me today is my friend, Chad. Chad, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Ed. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's a little later than normal, and a little earlier in the week, but that's fine. Everything's still the same. They haven't played Thursday Night Football. They've already played Monday Night Football, so the fifth week of the NFL is what we'll still have to watch and look forward to. So if you're ready, then I'm ready. We can just go ahead. Of course, as the fifth week of the NFL does exist, there are games to pick. But this week, since there are a couple of games that there is a chance that some of them might get postponed because of the COVID-19 virus, I only have 4 games here because a lot of them are either not very interesting games or, most of them are just not interesting. So these are the best games. But for lock of the week, still any game stands. You can pick any team to win. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull up this here. So here are the 4 games here. The 1-2-1 Bengals versus the Baltimore Ravens. The 4-0 Bills taking on the 3-0 Titans. There is a chance that game doesn't happen. But it's one of the better matchups this week if it does. The 1-3 Jaguars versus the 0-4 Texans. 2 teams that have had, just rough seasons. Things haven't been going well for them. Games there. The 3-1 Colts versus the 3-1 Browns. I did not know the Colts were 3-1. I thought they were a 2-2 team.
Yeah.
But turns out they are. So I've got my picks here to start off. Oh, and then for the lock of the week, you can pick whatever team you want except for the Colts, Cardinals, 49ers, or Ravens. Sean picked the Colts. Patrick picked the Cardinals. Henry picked the 49ers, and Patty picked the Ravens. I cannot pick the Eagles, Rams, Packers, or Bears. I am currently 2-2 with my lock of the week. The guests are 3-1, so I'm losing. And I really need to step it up, and I think I'm going to be able to do that this week. So, all right. The first game here, Bengals 1-2-1 taking on the Ravens. The Ravens historically have been able to demolish rookie quarterbacks playing against them, especially at home, as they are. But Joe Burrow is a special talent that I don't think we've really seen out of any rookie quarterback in the last 5 years. But still, I'm going to go with the Ravens. They beat up on the football team. However, Lamar Jackson apparently there was some kind of very extremely minor knee injury, which is the reason why he came out, even when the game had a gap of 31-17 like it had. He still came out of the game, which was the right call to make. You never want to have your quarterback get hurt, but even if he were to get hurt, I still feel confident that the Ravens can come in on Sunday and win with Trace McSorley starting at quarterback. So I'm taking the Ravens. Who do you think is going to take this one?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that one. I think the Ravens, no matter what, I think they can win it against the Bengals. I don't think it's going to be too much of a tough matchup, even though, as you said, Joe Burrow he looks to be something special for a rookie, but I still think the Ravens take this one.
Yeah. So next up, of course, this is the game pending. The Titans have been dealing with cases of the COVID-19 virus, as well as other teams in very minor circumstances. The Patriots are the second hardest hit team, where instead of it hitting in quantities, it hit in quality, taking out starting quarterback Cam Newton, as well as their star cornerback Stephen Gilmore. And there's a funny photo of Stephen Gilmore. He's leaning in and he's like whispering something to Patrick Mahomes, and he's like right up in his face, and everyone's like, Bill Belichick's playing chess while we're all out here playing checkers. So maybe that's his plan. Maybe he knew Stephon Gilmore had COVID and intentionally put him in there. And all I'm saying is, if Patrick Mahomes ends up getting COVID, I think we all know where this is going. But in this game, if it were to happen, both teams are undefeated, but the Bills just look so phenomenal. And somewhere off, Patty's smiling, looking down on me. I'm taking the Bills in this game. Their defense has played solid, and their offense has done, phenomenal as well. The defense, I would say, isn't exactly thought where everyone thought it would be, but it's still playing extremely solid. I think that's been the most cases for some defenses, like the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Bills. Those AFC defenses, not a lot of people, everyone thought those were going to be, the lights out, shut down defenses, but I don't want to say underperformed, because they've still done great, but they've sort of not performed the expectation that we put them at. But I'm still going to take the Bills, even though the Titans have a phenomenal running game, and Ryan Tannehill has been proven to be more of a passer than we thought he was, instead of just someone to hand the ball off to Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Um, this is a tough one. I think you're right with the Bills. I've been watching Josh Allen, and I don't know. I know Patty's happy about this, which I'm not happy, but he's definitely gonna be one of the top quarterbacks. I think he's something to look out for. And as you said, their defense isn't amazing right now, but I think it's enough to stop the Titans. But if it does happen, I think it's definitely going to be a high-scoring game. I think it'll be a good game to watch, but I'm still taking the Bills.
Yeah. So next up is our low light of the week here. Jaguars versus Texans. Jaguars are coming in at 1-3. The Texans are at 0-4. The Texans, after trading away draft picks, DeAndre Hopkins, and getting David Johnson, which actually still is working out as an investment. Last week with Patty, we talked about this. David Johnson currently has more touchdowns than DeAndre Hopkins does.
Yeah.
So currently, statistically, the Bills have won the trade, but doesn't matter. Bill O'Brien's out of here. I think they promoted their defensive coordinator to be the head coach. I don't know. So he's in now. The Texans are not even like the coach of the Texans as a franchise are on the hot seat. It's like win now or like you officially have to enter some kind of tanking mode and try and get, I don't know, whoever's next up behind Trevor Lawrence, because Deshaun Watson's the future and he's there to stay, but you definitely need some kind of other piece. Offensive line, most likely. They got destroyed 2 weeks ago by the Steelers pass rush, and they struggled against the Vikings not too hot pass rush. They need something to help them there. A win this week is critical for them, or else you just got to go into rebuilding mode at that point. And with that, I am going to take the Texans. Back when they were playing the Steelers, I said that Deshaun Watson was going to have a better game. He's going to start, hitting his stride with some of his wide receivers, which he did. He did all those things, but, the offensive line and the defense just collapsed. The Texans did have a lead for most of that game, but the Steelers at the end just came through and outplayed them. And then with the Vikings, they just fell apart. I don't really know what happened there. The Texans just weren't able to get it done. Deshaun Watson was clicking with Will Fuller, and which he's, been doing a great job of. But I don't know. The Vikings, they're really not anything special either. Gardner Minshew's playing about as mediocre as he could for being the most interesting. Actually, no, it's not Gardner Minshew's fault. It's literally everyone else's fault. Even though he's playing mediocre football, he's still, the second best quarterback in the league behind Trace McSorley. But so it's a little hard to sort of like gauge exactly where the Titans franchise is going. Like, you're going to tank at 1-3. If you lose this week, probably going at 1-4. If you win, you're at 2-3. You're at a shot getting back in 500 next week. So I don't know, but I'm going to take the Texans this week.
Originally looking at the picks, I was going to go with the Texans, but I'm just going to go on a limb and say Jacksonville on this one.
Jackson. I like a little bit of confidence.
Just going out. I'm going out on a limb here. Yeah, I just think Jacksonville, I don't know. I'm hoping Robinson has a big game. I don't know. Maybe they'll surprise us. There's not much I can say. It's kind of a dumb pick, but maybe, I'm picking them.
I've made worse picks, don't worry. Next up, last pick, the 3-1 Colts versus the 3-1 Browns. Two teams that I don't really think anyone expected to be here. At this point, I have a large, big list. I don't have it with me. I think it's somewhere back there. I picked every single team's games. And right now I have the Colts sitting at 2-2 and the Browns at 1-3. How they're here at this point, both at 3-1, astonished me. The fact that obviously the Browns with the same record as the Ravens are not anywhere near the Ravens, due to the fact that the Ravens beat them, so they have the head-to-head win. One thing to note, though, the Browns are going to be without superstar running back Nick Chubb this week, which most people you'd see as a problem. A team that runs the ball primarily and, ground and pound and all that. I don't think they're going to see that much of a struggle this week. Kareem Hunt is an excellent backup. Sorry, that's my dog. And I think he'll do fine. He'll come in. He's seen a lot of touches. He actually has a decent amount of touchdowns this year as well. And he's split touches with Chubb when he can. And I think he'll be able to come in and take over the full role just fine. But I can't buy into the Baker Mayfield hype train because they've been winning games. Yeah, they've won 3 games, but he hasn't really done. I just can't buy into that hype train for some reason. I don't know. It might be a thing as a Ravens fan that I just want to see the Browns lose, but it's also a thing because it's the Browns and we all know where this is going. They always play up to their competition and they crash whenever they play someone just as good as them. So I'm going to take the Colts. They've been a little lackluster at receiving core, but I think a couple of Phillip Rivers kids are getting to that age where they can start coming in and playing for them. So he'll only they'll only need 9 spots in their press box instead of 12 this week. But so I'm going to take the Colts. They're a little battered up right now, but the defense has really proven to be something special there with Darius Leonard. He's playing like an all-pro right now. Not a Pro Bowler, an all-pro. Phillip Rivers, he's been doing a job. Jonathan Taylor has become a breakout star. And the offensive line is doing phenomenal as everyone thought it would. Quentin Nelson there and Ryan Kelly. So I'm taking the Colts this week. I got them moving on to 3-2, and I got them moving on to 4-1, and I've got the Browns dropping down to 3-2.
I think I'm gonna go with the Browns this week again. It's not a lot. I think Kareem Hunt can still, like you were saying, I think he's still gonna do well. He's definitely an excellent backup to have. I think the loss of Nick Chubb is gonna affect it a little bit, but I still think, they played well last week. Obviously, it's the Bengals, so there's not much you can say there. But they looked good. And I haven't really even heard much about the Colts, even though, as you said, somehow they're 3-1. I don't know. I just think the Browns are going to pull this one out.
Yeah, the way I could see it happening is Kareem Hunt just goes off as a game. Because even when he was in, before the whole, kicking the girl in the lobby, whatever, thing, when he was in Kansas City, he was able to handle a full workload even with Alex Smith there, who's a big time game manager. So I think he'll do fine. But I still like the Colts and the Browns. So now we are on to the lock of the week. This week, my lock of the week, I'm predicting a win here for the New England Patriots.
Okay.
They are playing the Denver Broncos this week. Both teams extremely battered, tattered, torn apart by injuries, COVID, just COVID, regular injuries in general, starting backups at every position. The Patriots are most likely going to be without starting center Dave Andrews, but I think that both Cam Newton and Stephen Gilmore are going to be able to play on Sunday. And that is why I am going to be taking the Patriots as my lock of the week. Because, obviously, the whole thing is both teams are tattered. It's going to be a good, grit and grind game going in. The Patriots are 3-1. No, they're 2-2. With losses to the Seahawks and the Chiefs. Close loss to the Seahawks. Not so close to the Chiefs. But that's with Brian Hoyer and apparently the 3rd greatest quarterback in the NFL, Jarrett Stidham. I'm taking the Patriots this week, and I'm looking to go to 3-2. I'm hoping you make a terrible pick, and we can tie this up here in locks.
I don't think so, man. That's a risky play, hoping Cam Newton comes back.
You got to take risks, man. You got to take risks.
All right, well, for my lock, I think I'm going, as much as it pains me as a Ravens fan, I think I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers here. I don't think it'll be a tough win against the Eagles. I like the way Juju's playing. I like Deontay Johnson. Ben's looking a little old, I got to be honest, but he's not terrible, and I think they can pull it against the Eagles pretty easily.
Yeah, my original pick for lock of the week was the Rams, and then I remembered I already had them. I still find it funny. I picked the Eagles in week 1, and then I picked the Rams as a lock. I picked the Eagles in week 1 as a lock, then proceeded to pick the Rams as a lock over the Eagles the next week, which did pay out for me. But yeah, it would not surprise me if upcoming I'm gonna write this down. Upcoming guests just locked whoever the Eagles were playing. Even when they played the Giants, it wouldn't surprise me. They tied the Bengals last week, which, isn't not something you really ever want to do. Carson Wentz, I don't know if it still stands. I'm pretty sure it does. Last week I mentioned it. Carson Wentz has a terrible passer rating that Russell Wilson could roll out of the pocket and fire a 30-yard pass directly into the hands of an opposing safety for 45 straight plays as of last week, and he would have a worse passer rating, and still he outside of the pocket would still have a better passer rating than Carson Wentz does inside of the pocket. Carson Wentz is the only quarterback with a under 70.0 passer rating right now. That is terrible. And you have a chance, he has, and he's not really getting a good joints because I'd assume that it's this week or bust for him, and you're playing against a good Steelers defense. Yeah. Like I said, not great like people expected, but still good. And you have a young quarterback who's solid. He played great throughout college. Got blown out by Joe Burrow in the playoffs, maybe. But he played great at Alabama, played great in Oklahoma. Jalen Hurts is there, and, Doug Peterson has him as an option. And you got to be sitting there thinking, well, you never know, because Carson Wentz just hasn't done it for me this year. Before I was always the one that would be like, well, maybe Carson's better than Dak. Dak is kind of just stat pad, or 8-8. But Carson Wentz is 0-3-1 this year. They're terrible. I just can't say that Carson Wentz is better than Dak Prescott anymore.
Yeah, especially after last week's game for Dak. Unfortunate story. I have him on my fantasy, and I put him on the bench.
For who?
I have Josh Allen.
Okay. So you're doing fine.
So, I was talking to my dad. I was like, I think I'm going to put Dak in. He's playing the Browns. I think he can get it done. And my dad was like, don't do it. So I didn't do it. Fucked me over. Big time. Am I allowed to curse?
Yeah, it's fine. That's going to hurt. Yeah. This is a PG-13 rated, so you get one F-bomb. That'll be it. That's how it works.
Yeah, messed me up big, but it's fine. But I don't think Carson Wentz is going to be able to do much against the Steelers defense, even though, the Steelers were supposed to be the number one or one of the best. They're not doing up to that expectation, but they're still a pretty good defense, and I don't think Carson Wentz is going to do anything.
Yeah. Alrighty, so this is the part where you talk, because I don't know much about baseball. You said that you didn't really either.
Yeah.
So, but I've just got some stuff. It looks like we're in divisional series now for baseball. So we're in the playoffs. It looks like earlier today, the Braves took a 2-0 lead after beating the Marlins 2-0 in the National League Divisional Series. One of them. Padres and Dodgers play later tonight, and the Rays and the Yankees are playing right now. The Rays are up 1-0, and that series is tied at 1 apiece. The other series being I don't know. Oh, the Oakland A's versus. Oh, I think they already won that. No, the Oakland A's playing the Houston Astros. Houston's up 2-1, but the A's just won a decisive game 3 to keep it alive, 9-7. So, not being a big baseball guy, this, doesn't really speak much to me. But, for teams like, right now the Yankees and the Rays are playing. Rays are only up 1-0 at a 1-1 series. That's a pretty pivotal game to win a game 3. When you're tied at 1-1 to break that stalemate. And as for the Dodgers and the Padres here, Dodgers are up 1-0, but the Padres have a chance to make a statement in Game 2. If not, they fall down 2-0, and you're kind of in the same hole that the A's were in. Braves already have that 2-0 lead, so they've kind of put the Marlins in that kind of hole. But from what I've seen, the Marlins are apparently a pretty solid team, and honestly, if there was really a team that might be able to pull that out, I think it might be them. And the A's are trying to work their way out of that hole. They're still down 2-1 though in that series. So baseball's happening. That's really all I got for you. That's kind of like, I took it out this week, but every single week, I've just put MLS. It's happening.
Yeah.
Because no one I've had on watches soccer, and I don't watch soccer. At least that kind of soccer.
I think the Dodgers are gonna beat the Padres pretty easily. I think the Padres are gonna fall. Their arms aren't the strongest right now. I just don't think they're gonna be able to do much against the Dodgers. You said the Yankees and the Rays are playing right now?
Yeah, Rays are up 1-0 over the Yankees. Yeah.
The Yankees are going to come back in this game.
Yeah, it's only the top of the third.
Yeah, I think they're going to win out this game.
Yeah. All right. So next up is the NBA. We're in the finals here. The Lakers have a 3-1 lead. We've seen this before. Teams out of the West historically have a the teams out of the West are only 3-2 when they've held a 3-1 lead, which, that's pretty good, except it's not because you've only needed to win one game. The Lakers have held three of those leads. Pretty much every single playoff game went to 3-1. And the team either came back or they just won when you were at that 3-1. For the teams that have the Lakers sort of made it here. The Lakers went up. Lakers were up 3-1 against, the Rockets and the Trailblazers. They beat both of them. But on the flip side, the team that they came in playing, the Nuggets, went down 3-1 twice and came back both times. And the Lakers went up 3-1 against the Nuggets and then just finished them off in Game 5. So tomorrow night,
Thursday, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know why the game's... That's kind of odd. They're taking a 2-day break anyway, I guess. So the Heat, they're down, backed into a corner, 3-1. They haven't really faced a position like this. They've literally been leading every single series by at least 2 games. They swept the Pacers. They pretty much destroyed them in 5 as well. They won 4-1 over the Milwaukee Bucks. Not to confuse the Tampa Bay Bucks. And then against the Celtics, even though that went to 6 games, they still held a 2-1 lead at one point. Celtics made a little bit of a push, nothing severe. They pulled that out. But I mean, the Heat are backed into a corner here. Obviously they're a great team, but they're still out Gordon Dragic because of an injury, who's a pivotal player. Who's a pivotal player. I'm just going to talk over them. Who's a pivotal player. He can shoot, he can pass, he can score, he can rebound, he can pretty much do everything you really need a point guard to do. Jimmy Butler's there. Phenomenal. My favorite Jimmy Butler story is still the one when he was back on the Timberwolves, and he was so pissed off one day in practice that he took the bench players and basically took their shooting guard and started them with the starters, and then proceeded to beat the starters plus that one bench guy by like 20 points in a scrimmage. Yeah. That's just like not only scored like 10 points, just passing and rebounding and playing great defense. He's averaging 20 points in the finals, which is great for someone like Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
But LeBron is nearly averaging a triple-double at 25, 8, and 10. I don't know. I very well could see the Lakers just finishing it here in Game 5. They're undefeated in the playoffs, wearing those all black and then the yellow lettering Mamba jerseys, which they are wearing Friday night for Game 5. But at the same time, I could see the Heat pulling off an immaculate comeback. Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, those two guys going off. And I'll say it time and time again, the Heat are built like an AAU team. Grit and grind defense, and then a ton of white guys that can shoot three-pointers. So I'm just gonna keep saying that because it's worked, and that works for AAU teams. I don't know what to tell you besides that.
Yeah, I think LeBron and the Lakers are gonna pull it out in this 5th game. LeBron's playing pretty well, like you said, almost averaging a triple-double, which is pretty insane in the finals. I like the Heat. I just don't think they have it in them to pull off the comeback right now.
Alrighty, well, the last thing we got to do here is I have some of these mystery calls for you. Basically, I'm going to play a game call here. I've got 3 of them. 2 are from the NFL, 1's from the NBA. They're all game-winning, famous game calls. And I just want to see if you can even pinpoint, what game it was maybe. So we're going to start here. We're going to start with the one NBA one. But if you know what you do. If you don't, you don't. It's fine. So here is the one NBA game call right here. Let me know if the audio is fine. So I'm hoping I don't get an ad. So I'm playing it off my phone. And I got an ad. Okay. I'm going to wait a little bit. One of those non-skippable ones is the worst. Captain Obvious guy, the hotels.com or whatever. So here's the call. It's about a 10-second clip, so just let me know if you know it. If you don't, you don't. So.
They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown.
Yeah. Oh, God, dude.
So there's the clip.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I watch Steph Curry clips all the time.
So obviously you heard Steph Curry, Mike Breen in there, the double bang you heard.
Yeah.
Bang! Bang!
Oh, which one is it? I'm trying to think of the game it was. Is that a half-court shot?
Just about, yeah.
No? Okay. God, I can't remember who they were playing.
It was not a playoff game. It was just a regular. I think it was what did it say? Saturday. Here, let me rewatch this clip and turn the audio down. What did it say? I think it said Saturday Prime or something like that. Yeah, Saturday night basketball. Just a regular game.
Oh, God, who are they playing? I don't know, Ed.
So this is Steph Curry's game winner to put him up by 2 points with 0.3 seconds against the Oklahoma City Thunder back in 2016 during the regular season, and that's kind of like that. People know that it's the shot that ended like the war, that kind of like ended the Thunder, because Kevin Durant left after that year. They lost in the playoffs. James Harden was already gone, and then Russell Westbrook's gone now. So next up, we have here are the two NFL clips. We're gonna play the harder of the two first, and I'll throw you a bone for the last one. So here is the I got another ad. So it's only a 4-second ad. So here's the second clip. This is a very, very obscure game clip, but this is just a memorable clip for me for some reason. Here it is.
And here we go. First snap of the overtime. The Broncos have been in 3 overtime games this year. They won them all. Got him at the 40. It's Thomas at the 50. Skipper going through to the 30, to the 20. Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on the New England. They win the first play of overtime.
So that is the clip. You heard Denver probably a little bit.
Yeah.
So this is the 2000. This is from 2011. It's a wild card matchup. Let me know if you know who made the play, what teams were there besides Denver. If not,
yeah. God, dude. Think here. Okay. So first play of overtime. First play of overtime. Wild card game. Let's see. So Denver. I'm trying to think what year this could be. Wild card. Who would be bad enough to be in the wild card with Denver? Oh God, dude. Let's just name out. It sounded. I don't know, man. I don't know.
So I'm gonna have to correct myself from earlier. I said that Trace McSorley was the greatest, then Gardner Minshew, Jarrett Stidham. Move all those guys down a slot. That is from the greatest NFL quarterback of all time, Tim Tebow, throwing a 75-yard touchdown pass to Demaryius Thomas on the first play of overtime to beat the Steelers. I included that one partially because I find it really funny that Tim Tebow won an overtime game throwing the football in the NFL, and because the Steelers lost, and that's always good fun.
That's good.
So here's the last one. This one is fairly iconic. It ranked 7th on the NFL's top 100 plays of all time. So here's this clip. So it's a pretty famous clip, and it's recent as well.
All right.
Vikings at their own 39. It's third down. 3 receivers right, Beal and left. Marshawn Lattimore 12 yards from Adam. Case on a deep drop. Steps up in the pocket. He'll fire to the right side. Oh my God! Stay up! Oh my God! 30 goes in! Touchdown! Are you kidding me? It's a Minneapolis Miracle!
Was that
at the end kind of gave it away a little bit. But.
Yeah, was that the Vikings and the Saints, the last play or something? Or like something crazy. I forgot the exact play.
Yeah, the last play of the game, the Minneapolis Miracle, yeah.
The lead was switching like the whole game, and then, yeah, that was crazy.
Oh, where'd you go?
Sorry, my battery's at 10, so it turned off the camera, but we're good.
Yeah, the Minneapolis Miracle, great play call.
Yeah.
But, Fred is a Dolphins fan, would say it's not the best game winner in the last 10 years. I would say it isn't either. He'd say it's the Miami Miracle. I'd say it's the Mile High Miracle the Ravens pulled off 7 years ago. That's pretty much all we've got. A little bit of... Gotta be kidding me. A little bit of a shorter episode. I'm gonna get this wrapped up. I'm gonna go take care of them. A little bit of a shorter episode this week. Making some time change. I'm traveling this week for the second half, so I'm gonna try and get this done. If this isn't out by... I'm going to post this clip here to Instagram. If this week's podcast is not out by 8:15 Friday night, expect it to be out, just a little later that night because I'll have to upload it from my phone or a laptop or a flash drive. But I'm hoping it gets up by then. Thanks for coming out. It's a little late, I know. Normally we do these 10 o'clock Thursday mornings. But here we are at 8 o'clock on a Wednesday night. But I don't know, it's been great, so thanks for coming out, man.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Alrighty. I'm Edward DiMaria, the host of the Fourth Quarter Sports Podcast. Hopefully all my picks are right and I hit my lock of the week. And I'll see you guys next week. Adios.